In this video, I'm going to take you from zero to expert on Claude Cowork. Installation, your first task, advanced automations, plugins, connectors, all of it. This is the complete master course. Before we dive in, let me tell you why this tool is fundamentally different from anything that you have used before. Most AI tools are conversational tools. You ask and they answer. You still have to go and do the actual work. Cowork is different. You describe what you want done and Claude figures out the steps, addresses your actual files, runs the work, and delivers finished outputs directly to your file system. Regular Claude shows you how to do something, but Cowork actually does it. That distinction sounds small, but it's not small. Think about your last Monday morning. Maybe you spent 45 minutes pulling data from 3 different places, reformatting a report, and sending status updates to 5 clients. Cowork can do the whole block of work for you in a few minutes. So now that you have seen how powerful it is, let's get you set up. First, head over to this website and grab Claude Desktop app for either macOS or Windows. As of right now, Cowork has full feature parity on both platforms. This means fast access, multi-step tasks, plugins, and all connectors. Once that is installed and you are logged in, look for the mouse selector at the top of the interface. You'll see Chat, Code, and Cowork. Click the Cowork tab. That's it. Now you're gonna be in. Now, one thing to flag here is that Cowork requires a paid Claude plan. It is available on Pro, which is $20 a month, or in the Max subscription at $100 a month. Alright, so now you are in the Cowork tab. Let me show you exactly what happens when you run a task so you understand how the system works underneath. Let's start with something almost everybody needs: organizing a messy folder. Type this prompt: help me organize my downloads folder. Scan the context and propose a plan. Categories and folders to create, how files should be sorted, any naming conventions to apply, and files to flag for review. Show me the plan before making any changes. Only proceed after I approve. Notice what I did there. I told Cowork to show me the plan first. This is one of the most important habits that you can build. Before Claude touches anything, you want to see exactly what it intends to do. Now watch what happens. Claude analyzes the request and breaks it into subtasks, showing its reasoning at every step so you can see exactly what it's doing. You'll see progress indicators in real time. Once it scans the folder, it's going to come back to you with a structured plan. You review it, approve it, and Claude executes. Within seconds, files are going to be sorted, renamed, and cleaned up. This is awesome, but here is the most important part. Claude can make real changes to your actual files. It is not a simulation, so you gotta be careful and maybe duplicate a folder or keep a copy of your files in your drive. Next, let me show you something that most people skip entirely, costing them a lot of time. Go to Settings, then Cowork, and click Edit next to the global instructions. This is where you tell Claude who you are and how you like to work, and it applies across every single session automatically. Type things like your job title and industry, the tone that you prefer in written outputs such as formal, casual, or direct. Also add your preferred file formats. Do you want reports in Words, PDFs, or Markdown? Any recurring context Claude will always know, like the name of your company, your team structure, your main projects, added as well. I already have mine added, so every task I run starts with Claude already knowing this. I never have to re-explain myself. You can also set folder-specific instructions. So if you point Claude at your marketing folder, it applies different context than when you point it at your research folder. This is a key feature for when you are managing multiple projects. Let me also be precise about what Cowork can access, because this is where a lot of people get confused. Cowork can only access the folders you explicitly granted permission to. You control that. In the Cowork interface, you can point Claude at a specific folders at the start of a task. You can also set default folders in settings, and Claude can read from and write to those folders, Word documents, PDFs, images. It handles all of them natively. Claude reads your actual files and writes the output directly back to your file system, which is what makes it a fundamentally different class of tool than a browser-based chatbot. Now let's do a real task that shows this off. I have a folder with about 20 client meeting notes from the last quarter, all in different formats. I'm going to ask Cowork. In this folder, I have meeting notes from client calls over the last 3 months. Synthesize the key themes, recurring pain points, and open action items in a single Word document. Organize it by client, then chronologically within each client. Flag any action files that were mentioned more than once. That task will take a professional assistant the better part of the day. Claude runs it in a few minutes, reading every document, pulling the threads across each of them, and producing an incredible finished Word report ready to share. Now let's move on into skills. Inside of Cowork, there is a feature called skills that most users don't know it exists. Skills give Claude specialized expertise for specific tasks that go beyond what the base model does by default. Claude has already some created for you, but you can create your own skills as well by clicking this plus button. For example, we are going to select the canvas design skill. What it does is let Claude create original visual art like posters, design pieces, branded graphics as actual PNG and PDF files using real design philosophy. Let's try it out by saying, create a poster for my AI productivity workshop. Bold typography, dark background, clean modern layout, and output as a PNG. The canvas design skill is gonna kick in, and Claude approaches this the way a designer would, producing an outstanding design. I mean, look at how beautiful this looks. Now let's get into the features that make Cowork genuinely enterprise grade. Connectors link Claude to your external services. To browse them, go to Settings, then Connectors, and then Browse Connectors. You see a catalog with hundreds of options across two categories: web connectors that run through browser-based APIs, and desktop extensions that run locally on your machine with deeper system access. Click the plus button and you'll see tons of available connectors right now, including Google Calendar, Drive, Gmail, Slack, Notion, and a growing list of others. And here's what makes connectors in Cowork different from connectors in regular chat. In regular chat, a connector that pulls data from Google Drive just shows you that data. In Cowork, a connector that pulls data from Google Drive can now save it locally, combine it with your other files, run analysis on it, and push the output back to Drive, all in one task, meaning that the integration is active and not passive anymore. Let me show you a practical example so you can see it. I'm going to connect Google Drive and Gmail and run this task. Pull the last 5 project status and reports from my drive. Summarize the key milestones and blockers from each. Then draft individual email updates for each project lead using their name, referencing the specific contents of the project, and flagging anything overdue. Save the drafts to Gmail, ready to review and send. That task, end-to-end, pulling from Drive, synthesizing, writing, and dropping into Gmail, everything is going to be done autonomously. I just have to review and hit send. One of Cowork's most powerful and most underused features is Claude in Chrome. If you enable it as a connector, Claude can browse the web as part of a task without switching windows. It can pull data from websites, fill in forms, do competitive research, and combine what it finds online with your local files, all in a single workflow. Let me give you a real use case. Say I'm a researcher who wants to monitor a set of competitors' websites every week and compile what's changed into a summary report saved to my drive. I can set this up as a single Cowork task with Claude in Chrome enabled. Visit these 5 websites, note any new blog posts, product announcements, or pricing changes since last week, and write a competitor intelligence summary saved to my Drive folder in this format. That runs as a real task touching the actual web and your actual file system, so I don't have to do any more manual competitor tracking. Let's move on to a scheduled task. They just recently released this and I was so happy when I hear about it because this is a feature that makes Cowork genuinely feel like a digital employee. In any Cowork task, type /schedule and you can set that task to run autonomously daily, weekly, monthly, or at a specific time without any manual intervention. To manage all your scheduled tasks, click schedule in the left sidebar. You can view, edit, pause, or delete any of them from there. One thing to know is that scheduled tasks only run while your computer is awake and the Claude desktop app is open. So this is best suited for tasks that run during your working hours. Here are some scheduled task ideas that are genuinely very useful. Every Monday morning at 8 a.m., pull my calendar for the week from Google Calendar. Identify my 3 busiest days and draft a weekly priorities document saved to my desktop. And another one. Daily at noon, check my Gmail for any messages marked urgent or flagged and draft suggested responses saved as a text file on my desktop. You set them once and they just run. I save so much time with this. Now we get to the future that triggered what analysts literally call the SaaSpocalypse. The day Anthropic announced plugins for Cowork, 285 billion in software stock market value was wiped out. And the reason is straightforward. Plugins let any knowledge worker build what used to take a SaaS company, a dev team, and millions in funding. So here is what a plugin actually is. It's a bundle of skills, connectors, /commands, and sub-agents packaged together for a specific role or workflow. Instead of setting up each piece individually and re-explaining your process every session, a plugin loads everything automatically. You install it once and Claude becomes a specialist for that role from the first message. Let me show you how to install one. In the Cowork interface, click Customize menu in the left sidebar. This is a unified panel where you're gonna see all your plugins, skills, and connectors in one place. Click Browse Plugins and you'll see a full catalog, and new ones are actually constantly being added. Install the one relevant to your role. The marketing plugin, for example, connects Claude to your content tools and gives your commands like SEO audit, content brief, and social posts. The sales plugin connects to your CRM and gives you commands for prospect research and call preparation and so on. Each was designed with practitioners in the relevant field, which means the workflows, terminology, and output formats actually match how that work is done. Let me show you the /command experience because this is where it gets elegant. Once a plugin is installed, you type / in the Cowork or click the plus button and you see all the available commands. When you select one, it launches with a structured form. You fill in the details of what you need, hit go, and Claude executes the full workflow. It feels like running an internal tool, not prompting a chatbot. And Claude executes the full workflow. I want to leave you with the big picture because it matters. Claude Cowork is still in research preview. Anthropic is shipping updates at a pace that is genuinely hard to keep up. And Anthropic has actually been clear about their vision. Every knowledge worker should have their own custom agent. Cowork is the delivery mechanism for that. We are at the very beginning of what this becomes. The people who learn it now, build their workflows now, create their custom plugins now, those are the people who will have an advantage over everybody who waits. And if you want to go deeper on any specific part of this, let me know in the comments. And also, if you want to see more practical AI tutorials, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. See you in the next one.